As today we complete 74 years of independence, it's time to be self-reliant in the field of entrepreneurship. As the government already initiated policies for startups, these young startups are solving critical problems and have shown exceptional innovation in their respective sectors. It's time to strengthen our entrepreneurs and time for another wave of favorable planning policies. At least that's what the Prime Minister also mentioned in his Independence Day speech. And obviously, who else rather than those entrepreneurs and these startups to talk to and also know what is the impediment and what are the favorable factors that they are looking for. We are joined by ANAND PURUSOTHAMAN, Director, ELYMENTS App; MAYANK BIDAWATKA, co-founder COO App; LOKENDRA, RANAWAT, co-founder and CEO, Wooden Street; SHASHANK Gupta, co-founder, BRANDWIDTH Events; Kartik Gupta, co-founder, GOOFYTAILS; and last but not the least, VIKAS, BAGARIA, founder, PEESAFE. Let me begin with ANAND PURUSOTHAMAN first from ELYMENTS App. ANAND, obviously, first of all, for the benefit of our viewers, I would request all of you one by one to go through the company profile and also how do you interact and what is your business model. And secondly, any takeaway from Prime Minister's speech today?
Hi, thank you. This is definitely quite encouraging. We've seen in the last few years there's been a lot of focus and interest towards startups in India. I can speak particularly for tech startups. There's been a lot of encouragement. We've been called upon and there's also a lot of funding coming around through indirectly through government sources. So quite a bit of encouragement. So I can tell you for sure the last 5-10 years we've seen a lot of focus on startups and it's been very encouraging for us because, as you know, we are up against pretty large social giants from world over. So we've been very encouraged, but today's comment from the Prime Minister was quite encouraging, and we feel that it's go a long way.
Right. Tech startup obviously is something that many would say that needs a lot of innovation and also the funding part also. We'll come to that. Mayank BIDAWATKA, co-founder of COO App. Thank you so much for taking time out, Mayank. Well, COO is something, and NewsX especially would make a special mention here that now needs no introduction. And obviously, riding high on what people were not liking about Twitter, if I may put it that way, COO has given an alternative, an Atmanirbhar approach towards the social media sector. Mayank, is COO all about this or more? First question. Secondly, is the situation and the atmosphere congenial as of now for startups like you to come up and dominate the market?
Yeah, I think that India is a unique country in the sense that we have a language diversity that very few countries in the world have. We have thousands of languages and dialects. 90% plus of the country speaks a language other than English. So it's very important for entrepreneurs in India to cater to a market like that because we understand what these nuances are like. If you walk down the street, you'll meet 5 people talking all different languages. Right? So we understand this reality, and hence we participated in the Prime Minister's Atmanirbhar App Challenge and were selected as one of the winners. They understand the importance of products that can connect the larger part of the country that doesn't speak English. Right? We need to innovate in our country. We need to create products that are being used in the country for the people so that we have an inclusive ecosystem. We have a larger internet possibility than most countries because of our population. But we haven't really taken the best advantage of this. And who's trying to do that? The whole Atmanirbhar energy is what is amazing because you won't feel this energy a few years back. India's always had talent, we've had capabilities. What the entire Atmanirbhar new initiative does is that it has a very strong intent from the leaders of the country saying we want startups to create products for the country, right, and take these products to the world. So we find the current energy, the current ecosystem extremely congenial.
Right. Lokendra Ranawat from the Wooden Street. Lokendra, thank you so much for taking time out. Well, what is Wooden Street all about and where are you based and what is your specialization?
Yeah. Wooden Street, we are India's one of the leading furniture e-com. We are currently directly working with 1,000 plus artisans, and we sell furnitures online. So we have around 35 experience stores, spread across the India, so where people can come, touch and feel the products, and they can place the orders online. So this is what Wooden Street do. Now, as Mayank rightly said, that India is being a huge diversified country, and there is a lot of talent which is hidden here. So what I believe that the art forms, the huge talent pool we have in our country, and this new initiative of which today's announcement, it was a really very welcoming announcement. In fact, we have been directly benefited by similar initiative. We are funded by Rajasthan government, RBCF, Rajasthan Venture Capital Funds, 3 years back, and that gave us a boost. And we have, literally grown 3 times by the kind of funding and incubation which was provided by the Indian government. So it's an amazing initiative, and the kind of the potential we have in the country, it is really going to help build a strong startup ecosystem going forward.
Right, great. Shashank, tell us more about this BRANDWIDTH events. That's one aspect of what does the company do. And secondly, when we talk about reducing the burden on startups, what are the expectations then?
Hi. First of all, happy Independence Day, everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you for having all of us here. So, BRANDWIDTH is was founded in 2009, and we are a below-the-line marketing agency. We are based in Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore, and we're trying to work with brands to try and create their marketing strategies, whether it's through events, whether it's through activations or films, and trying to take, so potentially all the panelists here are my clients, can be my clients. So we try and find ways how to take them to their end customer. That's what BRANDWIDTH does. Speaking on what challenges we as a startup face, we are a service-led startup. So almost all of the others here right now are offering a product. We, as a service provider, have faced the maximum hit in this pandemic. So if one were to talk about policies, definitely norms on taxation, on how to try and create new avenues is something that one would definitely be looking forward to.
Right. Indeed. Time to rope in Kartik Gupta, co-founder of GOOFYTAILS. Kartik, thank you so much for your time here. Yes, we would definitely want to know about the GOOFYTAILS, but also in the same breath, talking about seed funding, talking about the initial money that is required. Is there a particular setup or expected lines, whether the government or the state government or any other authority should be helping on that? Your take on that?
Yeah. Happy Independence Day, and it's great to be on this panel. I am a co-founder of GOOFYTAILS. So GOOFYTAILS, as the name suggests, is one of the fastest growing startups in the pet industry and pet care. And we're primarily a D2C brand. Unlike Shashank, we have benefited a lot because of the current times, like other D2C brands have, and due to the policies of the government of allowing home delivery and ensuring safe delivery mechanisms. This has really powered us in the last 3 years. GOOFYTAILS just believe in one concept, that our pets deserve the same. So they deserve the same food, they deserve the same quality of products, they deserve the same quality of mats and beds as humans do. So what we are trying to transform at GOOFYTAILS is, how First Cry or something like Mama has transformed the baby space, the toddler space. So we're trying to replace the word baby with pets and try to get anything and everything that can make pet parenting extremely comfortable. And so, if there is a bed or mat that we launched, I'm sure I envy. If there is a toy, I have a young daughter at home and I have a young pet. Both of them fight in the same toy. and it's very difficult to distinguish if it's a dog toy or a toddler toy. So we are on this concept. We have designed and developed our product with respect to and thanks to Prime Minister Modi, not on obviously today as well, but on the last Independence Day where he talked a lot about Indian pariah dogs. And I myself, we own about 50 stray dogs and vaccinate and take care of them. Out of whatever profits that we earn, the proceed of that goes to taking care of them. So, our strategy is completely aligned to how he spoke on Indian pariah, and we're quite proud that we are doing the same. Regarding seed funding, currently we are a bootstrap company, so obviously investor is hearing out this is allowed. But apart from that, seed funding from the government, like I just heard about Rasta venture funds. I think there's less awareness, and maybe even if there's awareness, there's not that business development mechanism in the government where they would approach you and they would say, "Sir, do you need funds?" So, like in the last 2 weeks, I've got 5 phone calls from various funding companies saying, "Sir, you're a D2C brand. What's your turnover? Okay, we can disburse funds in the next four days.
Right.
So working, and you'll have funds in your account." So that kind of initiative that the government can support somehow.
Right.
Will be great, because I also am from a conventional business background, from a paternal business. So from that, it sometimes feels यार government के through जाना है, time लगेगा, कैसे होगा, slow होगा, speed होगी. वो एक I think inhibition ज़्यादा है. That inhibition somehow needs to be curbed by people reaching out to us, like these venture funds do. And they are very active. So something like that, if that can be done, definitely, a fund to the government is more secure, and you feel more secure that इसमें कुछ गड़बड़ नहीं हो रही. There's nothing hanky-panky that's going to go, or they're going to sit on your company and rule you out. So that's something that I feel can definitely help.
Right, Kartik. Right, point taken, Kartik. Stay with us. Vikas Bagaria from PEESAFE also joining on the broadcast. Thank you so much, Mr. Vikas, for taking time out. Well, you are an established brand. PEESAFE is something that at least I would say the urban India knows, about this. Has almost become a household name also. Mr. Bagaria, correct me if I'm wrong here. The penetration of products like these, which are based on hygiene and health, have they made it to the rural India also? How is the penetration? And secondly, what possible frontiers are you trying to explore, given the scenarios on the lines of what Prime Minister Modi also said, it is going to benefit you and others? And secondly, whether India is ready for it?
Thank you so much for having me, and happy Independence Day to everyone. We are not only a toilet hygiene brand, we are a very huge menstrual hygiene brand. And I just want to correct you here that we are not only in urban or serving the population of India. We are deeply into Hindi heartland. We are present in more than 90 cities across Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities, where we sell our menstrual hygiene products, which is sanitary pads. If you recollect, last year, same day, Prime Minister Modi talked about sanitary napkins, sanitary pads from the Red Fort.
Right.
First time in the history of India that the Prime Minister would talk about sanitary pads. I think that's what we are taking forward, and we are. See, it's very strange. India has only 37% penetration of menstrual products, versus US or versus China even have around more than 90%. I think that's what PEESAFE is doing. Way back in 2017, we partnered with many organizations, government organizations, to promote Swachh Bharat Abhiyan of building toilets. And now we work very closely with a lot of DMs across different districts to talk about the awareness of sanitary pads. I think we are in the right place, and if the government will keep on talking about it, about Atmanirbhar, I think the days are not far off that we can reach up to 50 to 60% penetration. And when we talk about the initiative which government are doing for startups, I may say that it's just the beginning. And I think everyone present in this panel, they can see some kind of positiveness coming forward to our way. And I think we should be looking forward to grab those opportunities, be it by funding, be it by ease of business, be it by exporting out. PEESAFE as a brand, we are now shipping in more than 10 countries. And, pandemic, one thing which really, taught the world that there should be an alternative to China. And I think that's coming our way as well. We get a lot of inquiries, inbound inquiries, that can you give us non-Chinese product or made in India products, especially from African and South American countries. So I think it's a huge opportunity for us as a brand, as a manufacturer, to be the factory of the world. I think we, as a startup founders, we have to grab this opportunity and show that we can do it. Not only services, but product also.
Indeed, indeed. That's a valid point. That's a valid point, Mr. Bagaria. Anand Purushothamji, I see you have already spent 20 years. You have experience in tech and an eye for innovation, and you have also spent over a decade in NYC working on fintech products prior to founding Payoda. Now, is there something that the Indian startups or the Indian entrepreneurs or the companies need to take a cue or a leaf from our Western competitors? Because at times the example is given, देखिए भारत में क्या हो रहा है, वहाँ तो ऐसा होता है. Is there something that what we are not doing and they are doing? Is that so?
I think what I've seen personally is that living in the West for more than a decade, most of these startups which have gone into big companies in the US, somehow they have roots in Indians doing R&D, right? Whether it's out of US universities, you can see a lot of the guys out there, Indians have done a lot of good work that has been productized, right, and become big companies. So, and you've also seen a lot of executives of Indian origin, right? So we played a big part in the US, right, from executive level to the top management as Indians in growing the global company. So we know what it takes to build such companies in India. We've done it. I've personally done it. So where we are focusing on today in Elements, is like Mayank was saying, India is very unique. It's got a rich heritage, a lot of languages here. Focus on the Indian user, designed for the variety that we have in terms of languages and whatnot. In our case, with Elements, it's about bringing that chat and calling to the masses, right? If you look at a lot of the folks that we use in India, the rural and whatnot, they use it more for forwarding, right? But for communication and all that, it's not as friendly as it should be, right? So we are taking an audio-first approach and innovating in that area. We had a good support from the government of India last year when we did a pilot launch. This year, we're doing a large launch this year with audio-first approach to calling and chat. So it's building for the world-class products. But we start with India, make it designed for Indians, right, and grow from here and then go world over. We've seen the companies like Ola do it, right? So 10 years ago, it was not thought about, right? But now it's accepted that Indian startups will start here, do big here, and go world over. That's going to happen a lot of that in the next 10 years. As you've seen, many unicorns have come from India just in 1 year last year, right? So it's just the start of the things. So next 10 years is going to be phenomenal. Such companies coming and also going global, and we want to be one of those in the social media side.
Right. I'll take a cue from here. Mayank, going global, if I'm not wrong, Nigeria is the next frontier that you are exploring or may have already explored as far as who is concerned. Well, from the 75th Independence Day to 76th Independence Day, please share with us what are your plans?
Well, we want to go deeper in India. We want to create more immersive experiences in Indian languages. Be true to why we started, which was to bridge a screaming gap in India, where people couldn't express themselves openly on globally dominated, English-dominated platforms, right? So we'll introduce many more languages. We'll have a lot more prominent faces, especially some of the most prominent faces of the country joining the community, and this happening across different languages. We are creating in India but for the world. So like Anand said, we first want to cater to this market because it's crucial to our existence. A lot of Indian talent is available, right? And somehow our mentality has always been towards stability. Work at an MNC, get a stable job. If you ask any person saying, would you like to work at a startup, they'll say, no, beta, MNC mein kaam karo, right? When that mentality changes and you have the best minds of the country that are willing to take a risk and join forces with entrepreneurs that want to create world-class products, you'll really see magic happening.
Right. Lokendra, what our friend just mentioned here is the fact that the nurturing of talent from the beginning itself. MNC join karo, everyone says that. But for a Lokendra to start with Wooden Street and for others also to have an idea, what does it take? Is this the money part? Is this the family background? Is it something that comes to you naturally or can be nurtured too?
So I think, I would say that it's a kind of a personal choice because, in fact, I have worked almost 12 years before starting Wooden Street, and I worked in India, and then my last job was in London. So it was a well-paid job. Everything was, I was very satisfied. But I don't know, there was, I think entrepreneurs have that, that different. Some you can say it's a kind of a kida that. आपको कुछ करना है तो वो करना ही है. So you don't feel satisfied in that particular setup sometimes. So that was one thing which pushed me to leave the job and start this thing. Right. And sometimes people feel that entrepreneurship is kind of a freedom. I would say that it's a myth because once you start doing something of your own and you are building something, I think you really need to put a lot of hard work, and I think it is like almost double of what you were putting in your job. Right. So it's kind of a 24/7, you are on your toes. Right. So I would say that it's kind of a personal choice sometimes. For me, in fact, it was that I want to build something of my own and something where I can give back to the society. So I came back to India. I got in touch with a lot of artisans. There was huge potential, talent available. So that time there was a huge, when I was in London, I used to see like a lot of art forms which was coming from different countries and sold at a high price in UK. So when I came back, I got in touch with these artisans based in Rajasthan. We operate from Udaipur and Jaipur, and like we have one of the biggest R&D unit in Jodhpur. So this is how we started, and we are growing good. Yeah. Great,
Lokendra. Shashank, what Lokendra says, ek keeda hota hai. Your tips for the budding entrepreneurs and the startups?
So I will say it might be a wrong connotation, but our country has given a term by the name Jugaad. Jugaad in literal sense means the entrepreneurial spirit. If you walk throughout the day, you will see street vendors, you will see carpenters, you will see an entrepreneur on almost every street in our country. We, as Indians, we all have an entrepreneurial spirit. Yes, the risk-taking capacity differs in everyone. Right. But I still feel with all the policies coming in, with startups getting funded, with people getting encouraged, there definitely has to be a way in which if somebody has an idea, and believe you me, everyone has an idea for a startup today. Right. It's just that small little peg that people need, a mentorship that people need, that is what needs to be definitely started in India. Right. The funding problem will always be there, but the first thing that one needs help on will be the mentorship, the hand-holding.
Right, absolutely. We will come to Vikas for the final word on that. But before that, Kartik from GOOFYTAILS. Kartik, obviously, what Shashank is mentioning is also holds true. In your opinion, how would you rate as of now the situation and the atmosphere in India that we have already discussed? And secondly, your key tips for those who want to start and become an entrepreneur.
I think the situation is very congenial. I belong to a third generation of entrepreneurs. So when my grandfather started his entrepreneurial career, there was no incubator, there was no funding platform or anything. So he just wrote letter to the Indian government and he started his own business. They sent him on an expedition to Sweden, got technology, and came back to India. So I think the basics of business remain the same. The ecosystem is becoming more congenial with technology and with internet so cheap. Internet is so cheap in India. It's very easy to create apps and get people download them and use them. So I think in terms of congeniality, it's perfect. Not perfect, but yes, getting there. two tips to young budding entrepreneurs. So you need two things, right? The one word is junoon, and the other word is perseverance. So junoon you need to power and fuel through, and perseverance you need through execution. I'm a founder of 3 failed startups. My first startup was in 2007. I almost sold off a electric car project to one of the leading automotive companies. Fortunately, due to circumstances, things didn't work. But that has not deterred me to join this again and do this again. So that junoon and perseverance is where what will get you where you want to go ahead.
Right, Vikas, junoon and perseverance, obviously that's, I believe, PEESAFE is a mixture of both, because where you stand as of now is obviously, I would say, somewhere a vantage point from where you get a fairly good idea that where are you going and where is the company going. Your tips and your final word on today's environment in India as far as entrepreneurship and startups are concerned.
You know, I want to give tips to all these budding entrepreneurs who want to start up. Just don't start up because you want to raise funding. Don't look at the superheroes of India who has raised multiple $1 billion. It's a hard journey. They have gone through a lot of hardship. So do start up because you want to solve a problem. And when you want to go into a business, I always call startup a business, because ultimately you have to choose. You have to raise funding, or you have to make wealth for yourself or for your investors. So if you are starting up, ensure that you have enough cash to sustain, because that's where people fail, because they take that step and they don't take it for a finish. So if you start something, finish it. And I think it's the right time in India to start up, because capital is available in a lot. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who have been successful. They want to come back and invest in your businesses, but just take a baby step. Go out, talk to people, learn, and then start up what you want to. I think that's what we have learned. I have been there for the last 24 years, running 5 companies simultaneously with aerospace and defense and into feminine hygiene. But I can tell you that life has never been easy. And somebody told me that, in the panel also, it looks easy for everyone sitting outside, but it's a 24/7 game. And you have to give your full force to make it happen, because you have to pay salaries for your people. Either you don't take it or not, but you have to sustain. And I think COVID-19 has made everyone that you have to sustain, and you have to pay bills, and you have to survive. Fortunately, PEESAFE had a tailwind because we were doing hygiene for so many years. But yes, I think it's time we step up our game and do more with this condition. And since Prime Minister is talking about investing more on startups, India can never be in a better position than now.
Well, there you heard it from the masters of the game, entrepreneurship and startup. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking time out and participating in this discussion on NewsX. It was a pleasure to speak to all of you and also learn from you on how to actually make the startup work and how to be an entrepreneur in these cutting-edge competitive times.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.